Well, we are finally in Indiana, right here at Holiday World, spelled backwards because I'm using my reverse camera on my iPhone. But this park is home to a great selection of wooden roller coasters and the B&M wing coaster called Thunderbird. And I'm really looking forward to, you know, the Voyage. So let's get into this park and experience those classic wooden coasters. Now I just made it all the way over to the back section of the park, and look at this. We got the Voyage right here, flying past me right there. And let me tell you, the Voyage is one of my biggest bucket list roller coasters. I don't know if you can hear me for the sound of that wooden terror right there. But the Voyage is one of my biggest bucket list wooden roller coasters, and I'm gonna take my first ride. I don't really know if I'm gonna choose the front row or back row. It really depends on the queue line, but I have to go quick. Man, oh man, I did just take 2 rides on Voyage. First of all, a back row ride, and then after that, a front row ride. And I'm not quite sure which ride I prefer better. I need to get some more rides in the future. And when I say in the future, later in the day, of course. That's just my English, you know, the problem's right there. But the Voyage, I didn't really know that this roller coaster was so aggressive. It isn't really the smoothest roller coaster in the world, and well, surprise, it's a big hybrid / wooden coaster made by Gravity Group with PTC's trains. But there are some very surprising airtime moments, twists and turns, and I have also heard stats-wise that this roller coaster is the most airtime filled hybrid / wooden coaster in the world. And unfortunately, I'm a bit disappointed right now, but it is the start of the day, so perhaps the Voyage needs to warm up a bit. But the roller coaster is still fun, aggressive, very lengthy. And now my plans are, I think I'm gonna go down to Thunderbird, the B&M wing coaster, to try that one out. And then finish this back end section of the park, and then go over to the other wooden coasters in the front. There it goes. Just try Thunderbird right behind me, as you can hear. And this B&M wing coaster has a very surprisingly yet very punchy LSM launch, as you can see flying by right here. And after that, the ride experience is actually pretty punchy, pretty intense. It's especially a high tier B&M wing coaster, if you ask me. But this roller coaster, it lacks a bit in terms of elements and layout, because it's quite short, but you still have a decent amount of forceful inversions, such as this one. You also have a vertical loop after with a lot of G-forces. But after that, you don't really have anything going on. But then you hit the end. You have a 0G roll, very whippy, perhaps the best moment on the ride for me. And then you have that near miss head / foot chopper inline twist that ends the ride experience. But now the biggest question for me is actually, is Thunderbird better than Rapterra, the new for 2025 at King's Dominion? Oh, I'm not so sure about that. I think Rapterra is a bit more lengthy, and it also has the same amount of intensity. So this roller coaster is a bit under. Rapterra is the king in terms of B&M wing coasters for me over here in America. Now here we have the area for good gravy, the Voma Boomerang flying past here. You can see the roller coaster over there, flying slowly through the scenic area and then up into that awesome stall. And well, you know, I won't really be trying this Voma family boomerang roller coaster, because I've tried so many of those types of roller coasters over in Europe, of course, and that's not my main priority. But I had to cover the area real quick. It looks neat, clean, beautiful and sleek, and it's of course a fun roller coaster for families. Now look, I just found the entrance for the Legend. Another big CCI wooden roller coaster in the park, and I think I'm gonna join the entrance real quick. Now just before I joined the queue line for the Legend, I just found out that Holiday World is actually serving free drinks You can get water, you can get soft drinks, you can really get everything, and that's awesome. I haven't really tried something like that anywhere around the whole world. Wow, wow, wow. I did just ride Legend, another big CCI wooden roller coaster in this park, and man oh man, I am impressed. First of all, I'm not used to those big wooden coasters. They are quite rough, but I'm getting used to this roller coaster. But the Legend is just jam-packed with awesome lateral G-forces throughout the whole ride experience, and it is yet another very lengthy roller coaster experience, so it is really worth the wait. I waited approximately around an hour or so, and it was okay. We had the AC turned on in the station, and man oh man, it also packs in some great moments in terms of airtime. But the Legend is just pure adrenaline, intensity, and lateral G-forces, and that is awesome. I took another drink right here. I gotta carry on, catch up with Søren, and I need to try the Raven. Well, now I'm gonna join the queue line for Raven. I haven't really seen any motion right here, but I can see some people in the line over here. So let's see what happens. Now, I did just ride the last major / big wooden coaster in this park, Holiday World, and wow, the Raven was actually quite good. I didn't really have any expectations for this roller coaster, and it exceeded those, of course. This roller coaster starts off with a great first drop. I sat in the back row, best for air time. And this one is just filled with intensity. Yet again, a great combination of big drops and lateral G-forces. And I must say, the only negative thing is this roller coaster is also quite rough. But I think it's the roughest roller coaster in terms of the woodies in this park. But I can survive it. But this roller coaster can be too much for some people, because I saw a little kid crying right in front of me, and that's quite sad. But maybe a bit of retrack somewhere on the Raven could be awesome, but still awesome ride. Now, I did just grab another cup of delicious Pepsi soda, and I'm gonna try the Voyage one more time to see if this is a redemption story or not. Wow, I did just manage to grab another back row ride on Voyage, and well, it did really warm up. The roller coaster is relentless, filled with airtime, as I said before, and it actually crawled up my rankings as of now. But with that being said, the Legend is not far behind for me, because I took another ride. It was pretty much walk on. I sat near the front row, and that roller coaster is at least just as aggressive and intense as the Voyage. The Legend is awesome. I have never tried a roller coaster that focused so much on lateral G-forces. It is quite insane. All of these 3 wooden roller coasters, the major ones, they are trying to kill me in the best way possible. So this was a very awesome visit to Holiday World. This will not be my last time here, but it will perhaps be a while, because you know I'm from Denmark. We need to fly and use a lot of money to go over here. But now I'm gonna go to the parking lot, to my white Corolla car, and visit Søren. I don't really know what he is doing, but I can say this much. The Voyage is of course the best roller coaster in the park, but the Legend is not far behind, as I said before, and the Raven is also a very surprising and awesome roller coaster, filled with surprising drops, big drops and forces, but it is a bit rough. So now we have reached the end of my visit to Holiday World here, and now at the end of the day I'm always gonna say bye bye.